So if we continue to smoke, continue to drink, continue to eat too much, do whatever might cause us harm, God takes away the penalty for the sin, but the consequences will remain, and that is sickness because of sin. Then there's a third type of sickness that the Scripture refers to, and that is the sickness unto death. Elisha was a great prophet of God. He followed Elijah. You'll remember he took Elijah's mantle when Elijah was taken up to heaven. If you don't know that story, you ought to read it. It's a great... The whole Elijah-Elisha period is a wonderfully descriptive passage of God's purpose for us. And it tells us a lot about who we are too. But Elisha was well known for performing miracles. For example, do you remember the widow's son who had died? Elisha raised him from the dead. Now that's a pretty good miracle. I hope you agree. That's a pretty good miracle. Somebody's dead and you bring back to life. You know, that is really something. He had healed disease. He had produced healing in others. But we're told in 2 Kings 13:14, now Elisha was suffering from the illness from which he died. Elisha was suffering from the illness from which he died. You know what? Even the man who healed others, even the one who brought them back from the dead, died. Why? Because the sentence of death is in our bodies. And the wages of sin is death. And it is appointed unto man once to die. So death is going to come, even to those who produced great miracles. So there is the sickness that is unto death. Now that doesn't mean that it's a sickness that God can't forgive and all that theology that you've heard. That's just wrong. But every one of us, assuming that we live out our days to an older age, there will eventually come upon us a sickness that will be the sickness unto death. So, what are we to do because of that? Because we know that the sentence of death is in our bodies. Because we know that the death rate in Potter and Randall counties is 100%. Did you get that? The death rate's 100%. Everyone's dying. Some are just more obvious about it than others. I think that a lot of people skip school on the day that they taught about how everybody's going to die, because I see at the hospital every day people that are just shocked. My 95-year-old mother died. Why? Well, because she was old. The tent wore out. That's not what they want to hear, but you know, they just act like they're shocked. Now, does that mean we don't grieve? Absolutely not, because Paul talks about grieving, but we grieve with hope. Whenever we lose someone, we do grieve. That's a natural human response. It needs to take place. If it doesn't, then we will be unhealthy ourselves. But we shouldn't be shocked that people die. Everybody's going to do it. And you don't get practice most of the time. You don't get a trial run. There have been some, but not many. So most of us will look forward to that time when we will die. Not looking forward to in the sense of joyfully, but rather knowing that it's going to happen. So what do we do? What's our response? What's the cure? Well, there have been three main responses. The first one is no prayer, no faith. No prayer, no faith. That's the first response. That means the doctors are the ones who do it all. The doctors, the technology, the medicine. That's where we're going. That's who we're going to trust in, and we whip out our checkbooks to write the check for however much we need to write it for. Or give them our insurance card and hope the insurance pays for whatever it's going to cost us. 2, 3, 4 years ago, I lose track of time, we had twins born at the hospital. One twin was healthy, the other was not. The one that was not had some things wrong with it that were not survivable. The baby was hooked up to all types of life support in our neonatal intensive care unit. Everything that we could possibly do. The mother somehow was contacted by a pastor in Amarillo who is part of the faith healing movement. And he told that mother, because the doctors and nurses were saying, we really need to begin to withdraw this because the inevitable is that the baby's going to die. And he said to that mother, don't you let them disconnect anything. Don't you let them take that baby off life support, because God's going to heal that baby. Well, guess who the staff called? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. And so I went up to talk to the mother. She told me what this pastor had said, and he actually showed up while I was there. Not having good sense, I said, we need to talk. And I said, are you telling this mother not to withdraw your life? That's right. That's right, because God's going to heal this baby. I said, so you have faith. That's absolutely right. I have faith. I said, in what? He looked at me. God? I said, no. Your faith is not in God. Your faith is in those machines and that medicine and those doctors. Your faith is not in God, because if you really believe that God is going to heal the baby, that baby doesn't need all that life support. Well, he got mad and hadn't spoken to me since, which is really no big loss to me. But the fact of the matter is that there are those who say we trust the doctors. Then there's the second response that's all prayer, all faith. These are the ones that, no, we don't need any doctors. The first is all doctors. The second is no doctors. We are going to pray, we're going to trust God, and God is going to heal this person. Which reminds me of a time when I was accused of murdering someone, by the way. That's another story for another day. But because my faith wasn't strong enough, I was accused by another pastor of killing the person because my faith wasn't strong enough. But they say, we're going to just trust God. We're not going to go to the doctor. We're not going to go to the hospital. Okay? Then there's a third response, and that's a blending of the two. I think this is the healthy one. We need to understand that all healing comes from God through whatever means it's used. The doctors can be used, medicine can be used, hospitals can be used, surgery can be used, but God is the one who has to produce the healing. You talk to any surgeon in town, and they can tell you, yes, I can remove whatever is wrong, but unless that person heals up where we have cut them open, they're going to die. Well, who does that healing? They don't. I struggled with this early in my ministry. Should I pray for people when I go to a hospital room that they will be healed? What if I pray that they'll be healed and they die? After all, God's reputation's on the line here. Now, actually, it wasn't really God's reputation. It was mine I was worried about. And a wise old pastor who has since died told me, you know, you can pray that God will heal them. And God heals in 3 different ways. Sometimes God heals miraculously and instantaneously. Like the blind man. God did the healing. It was instantaneous, it was miraculous. And sometimes the second way that God heals is through the use of medicines and doctors and technology, but it's still God who does the healing.